Hello, listeners. Welcome back to TSR's podcast network. This is our first podcast of 2024. We're trying something new with, how we set these things up. Generally, we go 3 topics and they're about an hour long, but we're trying to do more content now, focus on one topic that we really love to gush about. And that starts today. And we're going to count down our favorite MTV Unplugged episodes.
Excellent.
Hopefully you're familiar with the episodes. If not, we're about to tell you about our favorites anyway.
It's basically like Tiny Desk now, but for old people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like before, you had the small intimate setting. I guess MTV Unplugged was kind of that in the 90s or whenever they started. I believe it was the early 90s or it might have been the 80s.
Late 80s.
Late
Late
80s.
80s? Yeah. Okay.
It's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. as you guys
Grunge
know.
boy.
The grunge era really got a boost by this initiative. And I mean, guys, where is this today? You know what I mean? There's lots of forums and stuff, but it's not quite the same. Like, started with MTV, and then in our day we had Much Music. Like, they used to shut down Young Street and have like this thing that lasted 2 hours with an interview and shows and stuff. And it's not quite the same anymore. You have it, but it's different, And for that matter, do you think it would be as successful now than it was back then?
No, I don't think so. I think they still like try to do these sort of things, right? So it's just, there's too much going on in the streaming age. Bands have the ability to have their own platform. Like, they can just put out videos of themselves. Like, they're not confined to the only way to get popular is to go on MTV, right? Like, they can just really Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want. They can boost stuff on their own website. It's just a different dynamic. It's just, I don't think it'd work, but I mean, if you had a couple really popular bands that suddenly were going to do an MTV Unplugged, hell yeah, I'd turn in.
Yeah.
It'd be a great act. But like I was saying, I feel it's like like video killed the radio star. They say that. It's like almost like social media and the kind of climate we're in now, like the modern world kind of killed MTV and all these kind of different mediums. So like I said with the Tiny Desk, like unless you're throwing yourself on YouTube or somewhere that's extremely accessible or digestible in like a TikTok fashion, you're not going to get these like multiple hour-long cable TV kind of experiences anymore. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I guess it's so saturated with social media, and
exactly
the attention span isn't there. And as like someone setting it up, you'd have to be superb to get the attraction like consistently, right? You couldn't like half-ass it because then whatever following you get will be gone. And it is sad. It is sad. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to wait till Friday to see the countdown.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it was a different time. And
when they skip by your favorite song, and you're like,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, we're just, in a way, like, I totally agree that this isn't a thing, but it's like also there's just so many options out there. Like, just think of Coachella. They broadcast 6 stages, every band that's playing over 2 weekends. Like, you can literally tune in and like just see it all. But there's no like MTV Unplugged where people rearrange their entire like sets, their entire songs to go on there and just, this is an acoustic set, this is like trim back as much as possible. So it's, in a way,
This actually this is a question that just popped up in my head. But do you guys think that there was it was kind of the mystique of the 90s, like the grunge sound, this like heavy electric distorted sound was stripped back into this kind of like acoustic kind of environment? You know what I mean? Like, you're getting these rappers, you're getting these like grunge rock artists kind of just doing like acoustic guitars and getting rid of the fuzz and kind of doing like showing a different side of their music in a way. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's a very loaded question. A big part of it too is like those bands in particular were very anti-establishment. So for them to go on like the big platform back then was like this huge thing. Like
sure.
Nirvana, when they did it, I mean, like Kurt even makes a reference in his thing. We're this big rock band. Shouldn't we have 3 of the same guitars? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Pearl Jam, when they did it, they were coming off one album where they blew up. Like, they didn't know this type of fame, right? So
Totally.
there's lots of factors that play into it that like boost that hype.
Definitely. But it makes for good discussion. And,
Absolutely.
I think this is going to be a good one, guys. I'm really excited to see what the guys think. I'm excited to see what syncs up and what doesn't, and you know what comes of it. So this is gonna be a good time.
Let's roll that die and see who goes
Roll
first.
that die.
Okay, so what is it? Highest goes first or last?
Highest goes first.
Guys goes
Highest
first.
goes first.
We got a 4.
We got a 4.
We got a 4. We got a 5. Let's see. We got a 6.
We got a 2. Okay,
Around
so
the
Roz, Reed, then me.
Okay, so me first.
Yeah.
Before
All
we
right.
get going, special shout out to Christmas gifts that me and Roz are wearing right now
Yeah.
from Lundy to us.
Yeah. If you're on Spotify or some other medium that's only audio, please go over to our YouTube and make sure that you see us in all of our graphic t-shirt glory. And also Lundy's wearing a beautiful bright green sweater, and it's very lovely. So
$5 at Winners.
got it
Oh,
for
yeah.
$5 at Winners. You hear that, Winners?
Thank you, Winners.
Looking for sponsorships. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. So I will kick this one off. With my number 3. And this is after some vast research
Yeah.
and enjoyment. So what we did, guys, is we basically spent a full week, or I did, kind of just like picking through all these MTV Unplugs. Don't know if you guys know this, but they're very hard to find.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Like,
A lot harder than I thought.
before we start, let's talk about MTV for a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a problem with you, MTV.
Big time.
Okay?
Okay.
Like, you were literally like the music culture at the time. Like, you owned everything, you had everything. So why don't you just release all of your MTV Unplugs? Why can't I find all of these on the internet in an easy place?
Like what I'm saying, like you can't even pay to see them.
You can't even pay.
like
I will give you money, dollars, to see them all
There's-
on a streaming service.
there's no way MTV is making money hand over fist right now that they do not need this extra cash flow.
Like,
Put it online. I will pay for it.
they're not bankrupt. They exist.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they just show reruns of
MTV Cribs.
yeah, whatever. But it blows my mind that this exercise was so tough to prepare. Like, I was watching YouTube clips, like part 1 of 20. I was like going on fucking Vimeo.
Vimeo,
and-
yeah.
With ads between each song.
I signed up for like 8 different streaming services for free profiles because they would, and that's another thing that drove me mad. It's like, for some reason, like Paramount Plus would have 1 episode. Like, why do you have 1 episode of MTV Unplugged?
How do you get the rights to this one episode? Who's working for you? It's like
I guess it's probably like the artist.
I guess he has like Paul
It's not-
McCartney's on the board. He's like, yeah, I own this. I can have it. But no, MTV, seriously,
Your shit together.
get your shit together so people like us can take advantage of it. Don't.
Yeah, we're just looking for content
Yeah.
out here, man.
Yeah, but we'll pay. I'll give you like $4.99 to $5.99 for all those things.
Just don't offer a free trial.
Don't
Just
offer a free
just
trial.
make me pay right up front. I'll pay it. I'll
Yep.
watch them. I'll never watch them again.
Yep.
Except for like the 2 ones I really love.
Yeah. So and we know you're watching this. We will tag you in this moment, but please get your shit together. MTV used to be cool, so I don't know what's going on. All right. So anyway, we'll go to the actual performances now. I have some notes, but I don't think I'll need them too much. But my number 3 was Valentine's Day, 1995. We have the Cranberries.
Oh,
nice.
Cranberries. So I personally love the Cranberries. I love their sound, and I think that they have a kind of sound that really, like, it could take advantage of this kind of medium. So just like the Irish like inflections in her voice, it's just so beautiful. Like the Celtic instrumentation, the strings and the violins. Also a very short set. It's like 40 minutes. Like, it's not a long set that they do. But they're like all bangers, obviously. Linger, Zombie. It's great. The Cranberries are iconic. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Well, I'll just start that I'm mega disappointed because I couldn't find this one, and I actually really did want to watch this,
Yeah. Vimeo.
so I couldn't find it. So
Shout out
that's
to Vimeo.
So that's disappointing. It might have been my number 3. I don't know, but Dolores O'Regan, I think. her name-
Dolores, yeah, or
Rest in peace.
Aurora.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
O'Riordan. Yeah,
O'Riordan.
rest in peace.
R.I.P.
What
Beautiful
a
voice.
great voice.
It's amazing.
Dreams, Linger,
nuts.
Zombie. They just have a great hit
Yeah.
collection.
They did Ode to My Family. The do.
Oh,
I can't
nice.
sing, but it was like that, but like good. It was really good.
Zappa good, yeah.
That, but good. Oh, I just love like the inflection, just that Irish twang. Like, some people when they sing, they lose that kind of accent, but then some people don't. And I love it when you have a bit of Irish or a bit of like British or a bit of Scottish or something in there.
Shout out Sprints. We just did their
Sprints had
album,
that,
and
yes.
she
I
has
love
the
that.
accent. And shout out all the Aussies and New Zealanders. When
Mhm.
they sing, they keep their accent, and I absolutely love it. So
They don't give a shit. Like,
swing it back to current music, but
yeah,
the Cranberries, one of the great bands.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
I love the Cranberries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
They're excellent, yeah. And I'm with Lundy on this one. I didn't actually see it, but I wanna go back and caveat to this whole exercise here. There are so many of these things.
So
Yeah.
many. Does
That-
anyone know? Anyone count? Like, it's like what do you
There's
think?
20 seasons.
20
Yeah,
seasons.
exactly.
Some seasons
Holy
have like
shit.
20, like in the height of it, like the 93 to 96, they were doing like 20 plus performances. So yeah, I mean, they're hard to find, and obviously we're counting down our three favorites, not the top three,
Yeah.
not the ones we think are the best. It's
No,
just our
this
three
is not.
favorites.
We're throwing objectivity out of the window, which usually we take that into account. But this is just what do we enjoy?
Yeah.
Let's gush a bit about what we enjoy. So I'm sad you guys couldn't find it. MTV again.
Yeah.
You're ruining our product. So
Maybe
get it
just
together.
maybe shoot us the link after this,
Yeah,
but I'd
please.
like to see it. And they have an awesome set list, and they're so like distinct
They're
from
so
anything else.
distinct, unique. Yeah, exactly.
And that opening to Linger,
Oh, man. We're gonna do a watch party, guys. We're gonna do a watch party after this, probably or soon, and we're gonna put that on.
I want to get
It's
like a slow motion video of us like
just
embracing
hugging.
The Linger.
the Linger at the
You
beginning.
have to.
We just had a
let
dart
linger.
tournament over at BC's,
Yeah.
and we all had to pick entrance music, and I picked "Dreams" by the Cranberries.
There you go.
Very
There you
good.
go.
Yeah.
If only MTV.
Yeah.
Anyway, and
So.
that's it. Good. Okay, good.
All right.
Okay,
Burrito.
well, let's go with my number 3. So one thing when I was doing this exercise, think a bit of recency bias. So my favorite MTV Unplugged has changed over the years based on who
Fair.
I'm enjoying at the time
Yeah.
more, right? So there was a time, hello Phoebes. There was a time when I was super into this band. They were all I listened to. And it's Pearl Jam.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, hello. Hello, Phoebes.
Phoebe and Phoebe bombed.
Say hello. So one cool few cool facts about this one. So this show kind of poured gas on the fire for grunge in the early 90s because they were the first big grunge band to do it. They did it in 92. They only have one album released at the time, which was 10, which was insanely successful, kind of out of nowhere, brand new band. The set list is essentially all 10 except for State of Love and Trust, which is a B-side, and the Neil Young song, Keep on Rocking in the Free World at the
Yeah.
end. This was the beginning. Well, I wouldn't say it's the beginning, but Eddie Vedder and the guys had immense respect for Neil Young, and it kind of grew and grew, and they've been buddies for 30, 40 years. And it's crazy how old we are, man.
Yeah.
I know.
But
Time is,
when I saw these guys in 2011, Neil Young came out. So like
Sick.
they've been connected for years and years. The show itself is fantastic. Eddie's emotion and intensity with his vocals is off the charts. You can see him really dig in on a few songs and belt it out of them, which is just awesome. One of the highlights is when he does Porch and they have the crazy improvised solo at the end, and he stands up with his t-shirt off and he writes pro-choice with a marker on the
Damn.
like
Sick.
these
Progressive.
are like
Yeah.
so anti-establishment back in the day,
Yeah.
and dealing with Ticketmaster and letting their voice be known and using their pull for a good reason,
Yeah.
right? So one of the cool reasons to respect those guys. What else do I have here?
Yeah.
We're still dealing with Ticketmaster, by the way. I
Yeah,
hate
fucking
Ticketmaster. You
Ticketmaster.
know what? MTV Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
I got beef with
I
both
hate you
you.
too. I
Beef
hate
with
you
both
too.
you guys.
The last thing I have, which is kind of a fun fact, this performance of Black is like widely known as, or widely viewed as, one of the best. Like, it's incredible performance of Black. If you listen closely, he actually sings the wrong verse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Sick.
Yeah, he sings the same verse 2 times, and if you watch the video of it, you can see him being like, damn. Like,
Yeah.
like you can see he notices like a couple seconds in. So it's a fun thing because the guy who turned me on to Pearl Jam, my buddy Andre, he didn't actually notice it when I started listening, and I told him, and he was like, holy shit, man, you're right. I had no idea. So little fun fact. I don't know if any Pearl Jam fans are listening to this. Probably not.
Shout out to Andre.
Shout out on.
Shout out to Andre. Yeah. But that is my number three. It's a great listen, and I watched it today actually. It was
Nice.
very
Okay,
very
that's
cool.
excellent. That's good.
I also watched it today.
Damn, boys.
Not didn't make my top three, and now that you say it, that is like one of the first grunge bands. It might make sense, but like my biggest qualm with it is they didn't really strip it back. Like they're almost like they're really hard, like
Yeah.
hard rock as if you see them in any concert. And like the thing that I love about like a couple that I'll talk about later is they really did strip it back. Like it's like acoustics, acoustic electrics, whereas Pearl Jam is like they're playing a rock concert up there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Playing
So
yeah.
so in terms of like what I like about the MTV Unplugged, that's why it didn't quite there, but it's obviously one of the best. It's like incredible. One of my favorite things about it is right at the start, Eddie Vedder calls out this guy in the audience and he's like, I can't remember his name, but he's like, Ben, did you get in? And Ben yells and he's like, I think Ben's seen every single one of our shows. And he just follows around the audience and then they just start playing. And I just laughed at it. I was like, that's like, it just goes to show you how intimate these venues are. And like, you know, you don't see the audience, right? You're just always showing the band, but seeing stuff like this must have been just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, a couple points on that actually. So one thing on these shows, the bass is so like excellent, like it's amplified.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Acoustics,
time,
yeah.
like the guitar overshadows the bass.
Yeah.
But when the guitar is stripped down, like especially in other shows we're gonna talk about soon, like the bass is just incredible. Like it really builds that foundation on the sound, and it's awesome. On just the guys in the like they're just bros, eh? Like
Yeah.
they're like just listening to Eddie. He's just like this kid that just got famous. Like it's so funny. And Pearl Jam actually has a fan club called the 10 Club, and it's like based on seniority. So when they release tickets, if you're in the 10 Club, like you have seniority to buy tickets before anybody else.
No way,
It's
that's cool.
a very cool system.
Yeah.
That's how we got Radiohead tickets, right? Because we were in the
Yeah,
Free.
I joined some what's it called?
I forget what it's called too.
I also forget what it's called. We all went.
Yeah.
That's how two movies all started. We
Yeah.
went to a Radiohead concert
it is
in
that
Miami,
weird.
and
Still
then
get the email.
now we have tattoos. Yeah, what the hell is that called? Did you
But
know
anyways,
that?
yeah, I think I think that's pretty common, but like that's great that they do it. They're
Yeah.
definitely one of the first to do it for sure.
Definitely. So I don't have a lot to add from that. I watched it kind of like pretty early into my listens, and I'm also not like a huge Pearl Jam guy, but I kind of echo what Lonnie was saying, how it did seem very like a little more over the top than a lot of like the stripped down kind of unplugs were. But I will say something to the fucking up the lyric or screwing up the words. That's the thing I really love, and there were actually a few times I saw this while I was doing my research or watching these shows. Is that I just loved how casual it was. Like you get a guy doing a thing and he'd be like, oh, sorry. And he's just like, oh, I gotta start over.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no. It felt like you were like in like a studio session.
Yeah.
And that's what made it so special. But no, that's a great pick. And Pearl Jam are obviously legends and pioneers in the genre. So that's great. Awesome.
My number 3.
Yes, sir.
So I went as I said, I have 2 that I absolutely love, and 3 to 10 I think could be interchangeable at any point in time. So for this purposes, I am choosing Eric Clapton as my third one.
Oh, no way.
And my favorite thing about this is the music's great. I mean, Eric Clapton, you know, I don't listen to him, but he's just a fantastic musician. But he did this whole taping a year after his son was killed.
Like fell out of a window,
Fell out of
right?
a
Fell out of a
window.
window. The May left the window
Yeah,
open.
and he did it, and
Yeah.
he performed the song that he wrote about him, and it's just like
That's heavy.
it's extremely emotional,
Yeah.
and it's almost just like it's not quite the show of shows like that, the musical part of it, but like
Yeah.
in terms of favorites to watch,
Yeah.
in terms of someone that really connects with music emotionally,
Yeah.
that is
Exactly.
why I chose it as my
Yeah.
number 3. Tomorrow I could wake up and it could be anyone, but like there's something about what is it, Tears in Heaven, right?
Here's heaven.
Yeah.
Yep.
And man, when he's playing, like that might be the single best unplugged moment.
Yeah.
Above everything. Cause man, like he's like weeping on stage,
Yeah.
like when he's playing it.
Putting it out there.
Yeah.
It's a trauma in his
So
life.
it's just like kudos to him. It's hella TV, and he's mega talented. Like he's
So talented.
so good
Eric
of a
Clapton.
guitar player.
Yeah.
Right?
How old was his son?
Like
Like
baby,
young,
right?
like young?
Like a young, like
Maybe he was 4 years old.
Wow.
didn't know like go near a window and it didn't have a ramp. It
Fell
was
out
like
of it,
no,
yeah.
yeah, and just like fell up like it was like how many like fuck 20 stories
I
high or
don't know,
something.
but like
It's
that,
crazy.
like you know that it's the kind of thing where you like most people go into hiding for
Yeah.
years and years. Like you're never the same.
You just
but, like,
you stop making music.
and not only like he was able to write a song about it and go on friggin' MTV
Yeah.
and like have the guts to be able to do it, man. That I really want to talk about that, so that's why I got
Totally.
number 3.
And it shows the power of music in general.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
music is one of those things where something like that would happen in your life and you would like close up, and then some people with that in them, like they need to get it out.
Yeah.
So he's using music as a way to kind of it's almost like therapy, probably just to get that out of his body and to, you know, kind of give that to the world, even if it's like a tortured art. It's that, you know, it's probably cathartic to him.
Yeah, I mean, it
Right.
just probably another guy we'll talk about later, but Dave Grohl like just did the exact same thing with Foo
Yeah.
Fighters for Taylor Hawkins.
For Taylor
and then,
Hawkins,
his mom as well. So it's just like I think artists just have a different way of grieving.
They
and
do.
I think that's
Totally.
they grieve through their art. Like a lot of normal people just shut down into a shell.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, man, it was, you know, kind of emotional to watch.
Yeah.
So shout out Eric Clapton, man.
That's wild. I remember I watched it and I completely forgot about that story. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, what a wild story. But no, I don't add that. No, that's beautiful. It's really good.
Yeah, not much to add. This one I have to watch as well. So I got a couple added to my thing. But yeah, Clapton's crazy talented, and it's a great story.
Yeah.
We wanna
crazy,
throw it on.
man.
We will eventually.
Yeah. We'll do a listening party. Maybe we'll take all our favorites and sit down and do like a little night of it.
We'll all cry.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we rearrange our top 2, guys?
Maybe we'll be surprised. Who knows?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Bundy can probably see Ross.
I my eyesight's not good enough.
Don't be looking at that. But I'm gonna rip the damn Band-Aid off with my number 2, guys. And I'm going Nirvana.
Oh,
Nirvana's my number 2. It's almost like, how do you even, and you guys will be able to add more to this, but what can you even say about that Nirvana performance? Like when you think MTV Unplugged, that is like the epitome. That is like the standard of performances. You know what I mean? Like Kurt Cobain and the guys went in there, did this stripped down. It was like a lot of covers. Like they had it set up almost like a funeral in a way, like with the candles and everything. It was very foreshadowing to the, you know, tragic death of Kurt himself. But I mean, the Man That Stole the World cover, the David Bowie cover, is to me, I think, is the best cover ever done, ever.
it's the greatest cover ever.
I think it's the best cover of all time, and that's a David Bowie song. So if you could beat David Bowie at it, but no, it's just I don't really have a lot to add other than just like it's just one of those iconic. It's like I feel like I was cheating to add it because it's like it's objectively really good, but also it could be a favorite because it's so like, you know, it's just such an awesome performance. But they won, like I was just reading, like they won a Grammy. It's their only Grammy. Was that Unplugged album?
Crazy,
They went platinum. Like all the things that I'm sure Kurt hated that happened. But it's just such a dark like a performance that when you look back on it, you kind of like with those glasses, it's kind of like you kind of see it a different way. But at the time, it must have been like groundbreaking to be like that. So
yeah, and on that, like,
and Dave Grohl looks like a baby
being there for that.
I can't.
Like, because at this point they were massive.
Huge.
Yeah.
They were like the biggest thing on
They're
earth.
huge.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine being one of those people in the.
Do either one of you know the capacity of this place that they do them
I
at?
think it's like I'm gonna guess it wrong if I guess, but it's not that many.
No, I don't have it here.
Quick Google, but
There's it got to be small, but like it's actually like to what you said, Reed, but the bass, like the acoustics in a small.
yeah.
That's even like when we went to Primavera Sound and saw like Japanese Breakfast and Blonde Show, like that small, like we saw someone say at like a stage at Primavera, but then you go into this little studio and you're hearing this like big time band playing, hitting the gong, and it reverberates through your fucking bones.
It's a different vibe for sure.
It's insane, yeah. So I can only imagine how intimate that is.
1645. So
Yeah.
a little over 15.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, so like I'll just go ahead and say it's my number 2 as well.
Okay, there we go.
I think it's kind of fitting just instead of taking a little
Totally,
gap there.
no, for sure.
So yeah, you touched it. If I had to say one word, and I don't use this word lightly, it really is iconic.
Iconic, yeah.
Like it's the one I've listened to the longest in my life. Like it kind of when you're growing up listening to these guys, like this is kind of there with their big
that's the
albums,
one,
right?
yeah.
It's not like alive, it's there.
Yeah.
I have the vinyl, been listening to for years and years. The Man I Sold the World is, probably top 10, top 20 songs for me ever.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
love
so
it.
good.
I love it that
so
much.
good.
I listen to
It's
it all
crazy.
the time, like all the time still.
Yeah.
Just that guitar riff, man.
Oh,
It's so
iconic.
infectious.
it's
And he
beautiful.
makes it his own. And covers are always like, you're just doing someone else's song, but he makes it his own in such a way that I've
Yeah.
never experienced in another like cover before. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, he died 4.5 months
Yeah.
later, which is that kind of eerie
Eerie,
mystique.
yeah.
Um, the word is now I could be fact checked on this one, but he was actually off drugs when he was doing this, and he was
He
like,
looks healthy.
yeah, he
looks
was
good,
like
yeah.
going through withdrawals, and you could see his face like
Yeah.
he looks super intense at the beginning,
Yeah.
like with the
Yeah.
lights in his eyes, man. It's so like
It's
creepy and
it's very like, yeah,
It's
poor body.
always creepy to see someone dead
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
flesh, right?
Yeah.
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 Especially something that's that well, it's like it's not high definition, but like it's enough. Like he's front and center the whole thing. Like so, it's a
Oh, for
bit-
sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
So it has this like unbelievably rich sound. Like every instrument is excellent. Kurt's one of a kind voice in that weird state that he is.
Yep.
Shout out to Pat Smear on guitar.
yeah, man.
Now he plays with Foo, he plays with Queens of the Stone Age, like
Yeah.
and others, and it's kind of like a link to us today, which is
Yep.
kind of special to look back on that he's still kicking. Chris, man, Chris looks like the guy at a high school party. You go downstairs and he's hanging out with stoners in the corner, just like chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a question for you guys. So all the covers are excellent. Like
Yeah.
we look back on that now, like just incredible. Like it's this thing that has grown on us. But if you were there that day, or I don't know, maybe I'll rephrase the question. If you bought tickets to your favorite artist
Yeah.
and they played like all kinds of covers, like what would your
Would you be pissed?
Like,
I think it was a natural of the MTV Unplugged, though, right? Like someone,
yeah.
I don't know how early they were in terms of the people that were there, but like
Yeah.
that was pretty standard for people to go in and play at least a few covers.
Yeah, like the David Bowie, the Meat Puppets.
Well, they were on tour with Meat Puppets at the
Yeah,
time.
that's what it was because they brought out the
guys, yeah.
from
Yeah.
the Meat Puppets and played
Yeah.
some songs, which was cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's a story about Nirvana. It's like a concert in like Brazil or something like that when they're at the height of their as well, like somewhere around this time, and they go out and Kurt goes on drums, Dave Grohl goes out singing, and they don't play a single song, Nirvana song, and then they just walk off. This is like the height of Nevermind. So
Yeah.
think about if you would have got something like that.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
you know
Well, I guess it's like kind of like in tune with like the counterculture they were on anyway.
Yeah.
Like the grudge, like fuck the mainstream. We're gonna do what we want. It's almost like if you were a true fan, you kind of accept, you kind of like appreciate that. You'd be like, yeah, don't do what they say, do what you want, kind of thing, right?
yeah, I mean like
You know
they
what I
never
mean?
like they never even played like Smells Like Teen Spirit or
Yeah.
anything.
Did
like,
they ever
yeah.
play? Didn't they hate that song?
I assume so. It was
Yeah.
just
Once
what-
it got so
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah.
But like I kind of like that. You know, not saying so much I like the covers, but I do like that they stripped it back and played some more
Mhm.
lesser known cuts, I guess.
Totally.
I had a couple more notes before we go. So
No, totally. Gosh, man,
other-
this is the read show.
other
This-
songs,
Really,
yeah.
I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah.
other songs I really like. So like Come As You Are, guys. Like
Amazing.
Kurt is
No,
flawless.
It's so good.
And
man.
then like it gets to the end, then he's just there like ripping this amazing solo. Like, you know, it's not a metal solo, but
No.
it's just incredible. We talked about The Man Who Sold the World, Plateau, Lake of Fire, All Apologies. Like
Yeah.
these are boom, boom, boom. Like
Something in the
like,
way.
Yeah.
Like the type that is just
Polly
as
on a
good
Plane.
or
Polly, so
better
good.
than their studio album versions.
Yeah.
Like you can put them on, it kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Grohl's vocal harmonies, he's in the back. Like I can't remember if it was in his book or just something on the internet. It's just like he was like trying not to hit the
He's so
drums
tedious.
too hard.
He's
Yeah,
so tedious.
Yeah.
He also looks like a baby boy.
Yeah.
He looks so the no beard girl is nuts looking.
But
It's
he
crazy.
plays it flawlessly though.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
The drums are perfect.
He's
Like
amazing.
he doesn't want like that's incredible because he's trying to play it softly and it's not like the nature of that has to be that he wants to hit it hard.
Yeah.
But over the course of an hour, over what 15 songs, I don't think he plays a single hard note. He does it to perfection.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane watching him. Like watching Chris and Pat too is great, but like when you get the front on view of Kurt the whole time, but Dave's right there in the background and you can just see him doing every
Yeah.
note and leaning in and playing and singing the harmonies. And I'm just like, Dave Grohl is like my favorite rock
He's
star
the-
ever.
he's
Right?
the,
Like,
he is the rock
so,
star,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's still so weird sometimes to see him as an afterthought
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this band.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That band just so layered when it comes to like looking back in hindsight,
Yeah.
like everything that happened with them and everything that went after that.
Final thought I got is a little funny is when the guys from the Meat Puppets come out and
Yeah.
the guys are like, play Leonard Skinner. And he's like, I got a free bird for you. And Kirk just
That's
like
actually pretty good on the
has
fly.
like a single ha and turns around.
Ah.
It's actually it gets listed on their set list, eh? Like
Oh, yeah?
Leonard Skinner it does as them playing it. It's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
funny.
That's hilarious.
I guess it's just like a clip of it or whatever, but it's on the list. I think this probably makes sense. They're my number one, so I'm just gonna skip over it.
Yeah,
I think
go for
we
it.
gushed enough
Yeah.
of it rather than going in, but yeah, I mean, I think we're probably all gonna talk about the same second one here shortly. So I'll
Yeah.
just caveat that, this is two of probably my favorite rock artists ever. Like I think Kurt is absolutely amazing. Obviously, wish he was around longer, and then the transformation of what happened to Dave Grohl after is just such at the core of my early listening, like my music adaptation after I got out of the NSYNC and Backstreet Boy days.
I mean, I don't know if I left, but I definitely put it to the side.
But yeah, but I mean, like, so that's where like that's why it's my favorite. I don't care that it's number one on every list.
Yeah.
So like, but this is I get legitimate joy, despite how sad it is, legitimate joy out of watching this performance.
It's really, really, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree. It's a point in time. It's like it's stamped in time. That's
Mhm.
a beautiful thing.
You're watching something
Yeah.
special. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I mean about like, can you just imagine being there? So I think about some of the, like when we were standing there waiting for Radiohead to come out, or like those moments before the show. Can you
Yeah.
imagine just waiting for them to start and just being like, oh my God. Like,
You know if there's like
gonna be-
openers or anything, or
I don't
There's
think
gotta
so.
be someone heating up the crowd for sure.
don't know.
Gotta be.
I don't know if there
Maybe
was.
a comedian. comes
Maybe
out or
Meat
something.
Puppets.
Maybe,
maybe, man. I don't know, but like it's they just walk out stage. It's just like, oh, there's Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
I should have done research on like the getting into, like
Yeah,
like
like
I
walking in.
completely forgot about it. I was just focused on the music, but like very interested in like how you got in. Like, did you just line up forever and hope that you got selected? Was it a random draw? Were
You know,
heard of
there's
something?
gotta be blogs or books out there of like people like I was there.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. Like there's gotta be people doing that stuff. Like super fans, there's gotta be like a blog, like a Pixel blog or something. like a
Definitely is.
what do they used to call them? The blue, what's the old journal website people used to do journals on?
Blue Cafe.
Blue Cafe. Probably a Blue Cafe.
I think you.
Yeah, so I just did my one, guys. Obviously, I'll do my number two and see where that falls. Kind of an unorthodox way to go, but don't want to overly complicate it and talk about things multiple times. So my number two, yeah, is Alice in Chains. So this, oddly enough, is definitely not a favorite band of mine. Shout out Reeds for Grunge Corner or Bring Back the Grunge. But give up the grunge. There we go. But I love this stripped back set, man. It's just so good. Like Lane is just, he's falling to pieces there.
He's
Yeah,
sick. He's
corpse mode.
sickly.
Yeah.
He's
Corpse
sickly,
mode.
honestly. Like heroin. He is like through a heroin binge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He looks like a zombie,
Like
honestly.
he comes out like with the sunglasses on, and you expect him to kind of do that the whole thing because he's really trying to hide himself, but then he takes them off, and you're like, man, you don't look well.
So the point on that, just to hop in.
Yeah, for sure.
So first he comes out with the glasses to hide his black eyes and the
Yeah.
long sleeve shirt to hide the track marks.
Yeah,
And
it's
he
dark.
takes off the glasses. There's a point in Rooster where he just stares at the camera and is like so scary.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you're looking into his soul. Like it's just whew,
Yeah.
some heavy stuff.
No.
So
it's
yeah,
good.
like when I was doing this whole thing, this whole exercise, it was just like who is elevating beyond like their original music, their album music, like who is able to like really redefine what they've done here rather than just come in and replicate their albums and stuff like that. And this is just so different, man.
Mm.
It's really, really stripped back. Like even though they weren't like touring, like I don't know how they put this together because like Lane was obviously shooting needles
Just
in himself
with,
everywhere.
with band-aids and like stitches and just like
So even the
tape, I
fact
guess, I don't
that
know.
the state that he was in for the ability to do this is
Yeah.
crazy, but to do it in the way they did it, like so stripped back, so different arrangements, just everything. And man, they absolutely nail it. The band's tight. The guitar player's like got food poisoning going on. He's like
just a train wreck.
he's like
basically.
throwing up during the performances and stuff. Man, this is just For me, it's a it's a 1A 1B type situation. I like Nirvana more personally, so they get my number one, as I've said. But yeah, no man, Alice in Chains MTV Unplugged is like frighteningly beautiful.
Earlier, I mentioned recency bias, and this is what I mean. Because right now, I'm kind of in an Alice in Chains kick. Like over the last year, I started listening to them, and like again, like I did earlier, spoiler, this is my number one. I think it's my favorite, and I think it's the best. So a little fun fact, I think
Fun
He
fact.
had so many fun facts
just,
today.
Fun factoids are out of
just-
control here.
just based on this little dialogue here, I'm not sure you guys are aware. So they hadn't played a show together, a live show together, 2.5 years prior to doing this. Like they talked about it for a long time. They never really made it happen. They made an album and didn't even tour it because he was in such rough shape. They finally put it together and came out. Lane, man, he comes out and I don't think he's sitting in his chair for 1 second. He starts singing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he's
he-
probably in like it's just automatic, right? Like his body's just like kind of
Yeah.
going through the motions. Is that far gone?
After this, they play one more show live and they break up forever.
Yeah.
He passed away, OD'd in 2002. So kind of a similar little vibe going on
Dark,
there
yeah.
as Cobain.
Mhm.
Man, he lasted that long to
That's a long
2002.
time,
Yeah, man,
yeah.
they found him. He was like 80
And
pounds.
didn't he, like-
6'1", 80 pounds.
And he locked himself in his like house and he just kind of just like did heroin for like a year and like
He barely left his house
Yeah.
for like 2 years.
and they found him
before he
like
passed.
weeks after he died. That's so crazy.
What else I got? So they make a couple Metallica references on there.
Oh, really?
Metallica is actually in the crowd.
No way.
Front row,
That is
yeah.
a fun fact.
I thought, like, what are their references? Are they like trashing them or?
No, they do like Enter Sandman. I think they do like a little Enter Sandman riff.
Oh,
at one
okay.
point.
Are they buddies? I assume so.
They must be, and they must
Yeah.
just like same era, right? So
Yeah,
they must
that's
love
Sure,
them.
real recognize reals like Metallica. I mean,
yeah, that's
thanks for
true.
coming to our
Like,
show.
hey,
you guys buy tickets? Like, let's not
Yeah.
even. Do you have to buy tickets to this thing?
Another thing super special about this one is where they hadn't like, if you're going through something like that as a band and like your buddy pulls through for this performance, like
Yeah.
you can see them looking at each other throughout, like
Nah.
kind of smiling at each other and
Yeah.
can't like I think it's in disbelief, but also just sheer enjoyment that
Just
they're
having a
back
friend.
together.
Yeah.
Their friend is there killing it with them, and like during Rooster, like they have a shot of Jerry
Yeah.
Cantrell, like he's like his face, you just filled with joy. And there's a couple of spots there where the bassist like just has like a
Has, like,
holy shit, like
yeah,
I
this
can't
is
believe
crazy.
this is happening.
I thought this would we didn't really be together again.
Yeah,
his vocal
Was
on
there-
Rooster is so insane. Man.
It's
man.
insane how good his vocals are.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Wasn't there a point where like he like messed up and the band's like it's okay? Like
Yeah.
it's like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like they're basically like it's like having your wounded friend in the war. You're like carrying
yeah,
him
no
along.
soldier, no soldier
Left
left behind. Like,
behind.
they,
Yeah, it's
like,
beautiful.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised he looks so sickly.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised he was able to walk on stage.
Yeah, he probably yeah.
He
like
looks
he-
like a corpse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's nothing to him.
yeah, that was Sludge Factory, and right away Jerry's like, "It's okay,
It's okay,
We're
yeah.
allowed to have a couple of these."
No,
they said.
totally,
Like,
yeah, because you know in the end his head, man, it's so dark.
Couple final notes here. So
I love this is like
down in a
Reed-
hole.
Knew this was gonna be the
This
Rito.
is like the Reed show, and I love it.
So Down in a Hole is about drug addiction.
Yeah.
So like when they play that, man, it's so powerful. Like they're a group of 5. Their best buddy there is like that's his life.
They got
Like,
him, yeah, got
He's addicted and
Yeah,
they're playing that together about it, and it's just so beautiful.
yeah.
The vocal harmonies with Jerry are just next level. I think the vocal harmonies for me give it a bit of an edge over Nirvana. Although I do like in Nirvana how he's playing guitar. So there's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
You mentioned it, but for me this is the best. Heaven Beside You is probably my favorite song by them, but it's not my favorite song on this. And the last thing I have, it just really is effortless brilliance. Like he's sitting
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
like,
Way to
to
put
hear the sound
Comes
come
that
out
pours
of
out of him.
come
He's not
out of that
trying.
body is
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's really special.
Yeah.
He's probably like, Kurt never really goes for it in terms of his vocal on the MTV Unplugged. Like there's a couple of moments where it'll sing pretty loud, but like
Yeah.
Lane is literally giving it his all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, belting it.
Yeah.
And his all is probably not much at that point, but like he is
Yeah.
echoing in that studio.
Like where he finds it, man. Like
Yeah.
he's so frail, and he's sitting there, and Into the blood.
Yeah, it's like the only thing. It's like propping his body up is basically like his voice and like his talent,
Yeah.
right?
And to
Otherwise,
start
he's
with
like a shell.
Jar of Flies too, like
Oh man,
oh, just amazing,
Jesus,
amazing.
Absolutely incredible, man.
incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
No, how do you even go from there, honestly? But I think I'm the only one left at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
So this brings up a good point as to why that's not my number one. Because in an objective setting, that is my number one. I think objectively that is
Yeah.
the ultimate
Sure.
performance.
Yep.
But is it not? Is it my favorite? No, it's not. It's to me, it's like it's depressing. Like to see a man who's so gone through addiction and so weak and just being held up and like just by his talent alone and being there for his band. But like I don't enjoy it really. Like it's kind of hard. It's a hard watch.
It is our
I find it really hard to watch. So I
Fair.
can't say it's my favorite. So
Yep.
my favorite I actually found recently and been listening to it all week and just it's Jay-Z did it 2001. So the blueprint came out. I don't know if you guys heard of this one. 9/11, September 11th, 2001
Came out?
came out. The blueprint
Wow.
came out on 9/11. Now it's still went platinum, but my God, what a thing to go up against.
Oof.
That's pretty
Oh,
bad.
tough territory. Yeah.
That's tough. So so Jay-Z did his episode in November 2001. So like right after 9/11. Like 9/11's still fucking going on,
Oh,
big
yeah.
con. And he comes out and it's almost like he's like, I know like the United States is going through some crazy shit right now, but he's like, I'm gonna put on an insane performance. And does he ever? He's backed by the Roots. Questlove is on the drums front and center, and he has the entirety of the Roots with him. He brings out Mary J. Blige. He brings in Pharrell Williams. You're getting like he had a full gospel choir. Like the first thing is like a lady just going H to the his own. I'm like, this is gonna be fucking sick. And it actually is fucking sick. It's actually
Yeah.
really, really good.
I
It's,
listened to it. I couldn't find the video.
guys, Vimeo. I'm telling you, it is amazing.
So I listened to the whole thing. It's like an hour long.
Yeah.
And all the track list is on YouTube, but it's just because it eventually becomes an album, right?
Yes.
It's it's one of the ones that actually becomes an album. So it's just the album cover and he's singing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is friggin' incredible.
It's nuts.
It's
yeah.
so good. I agree with you in every capacity, but I couldn't find the video. So I'm sitting there, I'm like watching Lane, watching Kurt, watching Eric Clapton, and I'm watching a
guy.
an album cover.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't
You
pick
can't.
Jay-Z. I can't.
And it's a visual medium. Like Unplugged is inherently a visual medium.
Yeah,
Like, you're
absolutely.
seeing like the whole point. You're seeing a band on a stage usually with like fireworks going off and fucking flames and and noise. You got like a guy just on like a chair. You know what I mean? So you're getting that. But like that's what that was. You had Questlove in the back playing the drums. You had everyone on the album basically coming out. You had Hard Knock Life, Can't Knock the Hustle, Family Affair, Mary J. Blige came in, did Percolator, Big Pimpin', Give It To Me with Pharrell. Like it's
Give it
just
to me, man. That's
everything. Like Pharrell coming out and doing Give It To Me on stage last song.
Oh wow.
It was an hour. He didn't stop. It is like peak to me, like peak hip hop, early 2000s. Jay-Z just going nuts on stage with the Roots. And when I go to favorites, like that is like, I mean, this is my favorite. This is fun. I'll throw this on and have a great time. So yeah, that's my number one right there.
I certainly could have made my number 3. I don't think I ever would have put it over the other two, but like the listening to it, I was just like, man, this is really cool. And you know, one of the biggest things about rap music is like it's just like backing tracks a lot. Like they just get up there, they rap to the backing track.
Yeah.
So whenever a rapper actually takes a full band and goes up there and recreates stuff, I'm just like, this is what music's all about,
For
man.
a full hour. Yeah.
It's like I get it, and it's the same thing as a DJ. Rather than going up with their laptop, like they bring out the synths, they bring out like the electronic drums. That's what makes music so good to me.
Totally.
So when he did that, like props to him. Really disappointed I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But it's one that I absolutely got to go back and listen to because it's really, really good.
It's guys. We're gonna get together. We're gonna watch the Cranberries. We're gonna watch Jay-Z. We got a whole bunch of guys we're gonna see, guys and girls.
Finish off with Eric Clapton. We'll
Eric
cry.
Clapton, and then we'll all have a big old
Cry, go home, go
cry
bed.
of a glass of wine and a cry. It's gonna be a good time.
Looks like Roz got to send me and Lundy the link for this one.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
good.
get to this one. I did the same thing with Oasis actually. I
Oh, no.
listened to it in the truck.
I can't
and-
believe I figured Oasis would have been one of you guys would have grabbed them.
Oh, well, Liam's not there.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I thought Lundy might have it.
Yeah.
Liam's in the crowd chirping him.
That's why I thought you'd take it. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I was watching it, man. It's so funny. You could hear Liam like chirping Noel, and
You're
it's like,
shite.
yeah, it's really good, but it's kind of like I'm kind of sidetracking here, but it's sad in a completely different way because that was the breakup of
Yeah, yeah.
because Noel's like, I can fucking do all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the biggest TV show in friggin' America. I'm playing all the songs. I wrote all the lyrics. I can sing. This is going well.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I
And
need, Liam?
he's still being shit. He's
Yeah.
still here being a piece of
Yeah.
shit.
So he's just like, why do I need this? So it's sad in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And it's like, Kurt and Lane dying is like uber sad.
Yeah.
But like the fact that the two of them are still alive, they have one of the greatest bands of all time, and they can't fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Stay. Now he's talking about the Flying Birds or something. What's he called? What's
Noel Gallagher and the Flying Birds.
Noel Gallagher and the Flying Birds.
Liam Gallagher put out an album today
Oh, did he?
with one of the guys from the Stone Roses.
Okay. Did you have a list?
No, but
No.
it's like a 60 something on Metacritic or something. So
Oh.
I downloaded a lot of albums today, but that was not one of them.
Yeah.
Anyways, kind of got
Interesting.
sidetracked there. Give me your Jay-Z thoughts if you.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So no thoughts.
No real thoughts. No,
But you know
but
the blueprint. You've heard. The
I know.
Blueprint.
Yes, I know the blueprint.
You've seen the.
Give it to me. What albums? Give it to me. That's my favorite
to me,
Jay.
that's the Pharrell. That's what Pharrell came
Yeah,
in. They
yeah,
did that song.
yeah.
It was nuts. Mary J. Blige came out, did a song, and then did her song, Family Affair. He would just bring people on stage. Like if he couldn't swear, he'd stop, and the whole crowd would swear. It was just like he was like a full performance. And this is like 9/11. Like, and you got people going like H to the Izzo. Like
It was a
it's
performance.
spectacle.
I could sense the level of high quality performance without seeing
Yeah.
it. So that kind of speaks
Yeah,
to it.
totally. No, for sure.
So it's just like, and it's got to be. I mean, it was what? It's 2001.
2001
said, but, like,
November. Yeah.
there could, other than like after that, there couldn't have been many rappers up to that point that did an MTV
No.
Unplugged.
I don't even.
No.
Yeah, like maybe
It was
I don't know. If
almost
Lauryn Hill was
always
after or
from
before.
like 50 Cent or something. He was in that
Yeah.
territory, but
Yeah, I don't know, but man, peak Jay Z, because I always think of Jay Z. It's like long ago, but then he'll do like he'll do like Song Cry or something. I'm like, man, this like he's when he was like peaked out, he was like super good, man. Like one of the best, obviously. Hove,
Yeah,
it's Hove's back.
goes back.
Hove's back.
I'm a hustler, baby.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah, great list, boys. I will just talk about one that I couldn't find that some of the songs are really good is Paul McCartney's.
That's when I did that. So that one I watched on YouTube. Every one was on YouTube, but some were like the CD.
Yeah,
He was the one where he was fucking up a lot, and he'd tell the crowd like, "All right, I'll get it,
yeah.
and just on the guitar. Like that was the first
I'll
one.
get this.
That's the first one I watched, and I was like, "This is cool. This is like what it's
Yeah.
about, right?" And that's what the '80s he did that. Like,
Yeah, he did it really early. Like, I mean, this is, Beatles meeting. It was crazy, but like, he was kind of still almost making a solo name for
yeah. Well,
himself.
Paul was like, Paul and Lennon were the guys anyway. McCartney
Yeah.
and Lennon were like the songwriters.
But
so.
like the crowd in some of the actual Beatles songs are like legit singing along, and
Yeah.
I know that probably happens in a lot of them. It's just the way the acoustics are. You can't hear the crowd.
yeah,
But like in Paul's, whatever way it is, like you can legit hear.
you can hear the. Yeah.
So like they're just singing, and
Yeah.
it's like a sing along, like a campfire sing along.
Yeah.
It makes it really cool.
He's it's just so cool to see a Beatle standing with jeans on, doing like a good guitar and fucking up the words. Like we all fuck up. Like fucking Paul McCartney can't even remember what he's talking about.
Paul's the man. Dan's still going.
He's still
Going.
going.
Still going, and he's
still
like
going.
him. Bruce Springsteen has one too. I never got to see that, but like he's up there playing like 2 and 3 hour shows.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
So is Paul McCartney, man.
Ever since I watched that Netflix doc that you put on,
Bruce, he's
on
the
it,
man.
Bruce is the man.
Bruce is the
Bruce
man.
starts at like 8 in the morning. He's like, "Oh fuck, I guess I'll just keep yelling at the microphone."
He
Like,
comes in from fucking playing like 3 hours in Buffalo, flies across the country to sing this one song, and
and
then
he's the coolest looking guy of all time,
Yeah.
like leather jacket, like white t-shirt. Like I'll never be a fucking fraction of that.
I just came to mind too. I don't know when she would have done it, but Lauryn Hill has one.
She does.
I couldn't find that one
I don't
actually.
know if
I
it
didn't
happened
see it.
before.
She's probably super late, probably 4 hours late for it.
Everybody's pissed in
Yeah.
the crowd.
There's actually no one there, just her.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Little
there was
shout
anything
out
else.
to Stone Temple
I
Pilots.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
Theirs is really short though.
Yeah.
Theirs is like between 20 and 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Plush for me is one of the best acoustic grunge songs.
yeah.
But yeah, Scott Weiland, he has so many of those. Like you toss that in Google or whatever. There's so many performances, whether it's MTV Unplugged or something different. They have a lot of great unplugged type tracks.
You guys check out Dashboard Confessionals?
No,
Oh, I did. I went emo for a bit. It was okay actually. It's pretty good.
I've seen the 30 Seconds of Mars had one.
No, did you watch
Watched
that?
A few clips, yeah.
Oh,
A
man,
lot of them, like I said, like I didn't get your Vimeo message till like
it was too late.
it was end of the
Yeah.
day today. So basically like I was watching like bits and pieces of
Yeah.
certain ones. So
What else am I trying to find? I wanted to flip the script and do Hole because like everyone goes Nirvana, Nirvana, Nirvana. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'll just do Hole and just like see what that's
It
about.
was another one that I could only find clips of, but
Yeah,
man,
me too.
Courtney
I
Love's
didn't get
super,
it.
super impressive.
She's super good. I couldn't
Yeah.
find her like the full thing.
Hers
but-
is like a year after Kurt Cobain
Yeah,
dies. And
that's
she
nuts.
does,
Yeah.
what song does she do? She does Come As You Are. She does one of the,
No, you know you're right.
you know,
You
you're
know
right.
you're
Yeah, that's
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unreleased. All right, well, that was super fun. I'm glad we did that one. I've been pushing it, I think, since our first year in operation. Plenty of fun, guys. I have a couple of takeaways, a little bit of homework, and I hope we've given you followers something to listen to. If you have any feedback, if you agree, have any things to add, add it to our Instagram or wherever. Reach out, DM us, whatnot. We do plan to do other things like this with Tiny Desk and maybe venture into a few other things down the road, but hope you enjoyed. Take care until the next time.
Boys, 2.
Sweet.